Hello everyone, Silent here. Welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'll be showing you guys how to build a very simple, cheap, and effective witch farm for your Minecraft world. This thing uses three very simple flying machines to sweep all of the witches off the platforms to their death, where you can then collect all of the items that your heart desires. This farm works on Minecraft Console Edition and also on Minecraft Java Edition, and it's the same farm that I use in my Silent Survival Let's Play series, which is pretty good because this farm kicks butt. If you're in a solo world or just playing with a couple other friends, this farm will supply you with all of the witch drops that you could ever need: glowstone, redstone dust, and most importantly, sticks, along with many more. So if you guys want to learn how to build this farm, then keep on watching this video, and maybe also consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel so that you guys see future tutorials and just help out the video and the channel and all that good stuff. Anyway, shameless promotion out of the way, let's get into it. So if you put in the proper amount of work and do everything legitly, this farm will treat you very, very well. As you can see, for quite a ways around the farm, we have nothing but water, and that is exactly what you want. You want a little bit of a perimeter, so we removed a bunch of land, covered it all with water, and that prevents all of the mob spawning on the surface. And we also lit up all the caves down underneath, and that gives us a pretty decent little perimeter for our witch farm, which will concentrate all the spawns inside of the witch farm, which is pretty much exactly what you want. So if you do some basic cave lighting and some basic surface spawn prevention, you'll be doing pretty great. Now, as you can see, the redstone on the farm is extremely simple. There really just is not much to this. Anyone can build this. It's basically as simple as you get when it comes to redstone. The flying machines are also extremely easy to build, and like I said, there just really is not much to this. You flick a lever, the farm turns on. You reflick the lever, the farm turns off. So before we get to building, the full materials list for this build will be down in the description for your use. And also, thank you to Etzmine for designing this farm. I was looking for a witch farm that used flying machines. I was about to design my own, and then he showed me his design, and it was absolutely everything that I needed and wanted and was going to build. So yeah, just decided to build that one. So again, massive thank you to Etzmine for designing this farm. And yeah, with that stuff out of the way, let's get to actually doing the tutorial now. Now, first things first, you're going to want to go ahead and find yourself a witch hut. Now, you want to be fairly particular about what witch hut you choose for this. So this one right here is lucky enough to have an ocean off to one side and to also be surrounded by a fair amount of water on all the other sides. There was a bunch of land here before, but then we tore it down and covered it with water to prevent other mob spawns, which is what you will also be wanting to do, along with, cave lighting and stuff like that. So your witch hut should look a little bit something like this. Now, these quartz blocks represent the corners of the witch hut bounding box, or the area that witches can actually spawn inside of your witch hut. So that leaves us with room enough for 3 spawning floors, which is exactly how many you need. And these are going to be 7 by 9 spawning floors. So they're going to be 7 blocks wide and 9 blocks long. And you can basically just connect them up a little bit something like this. And that is going to be the first step, putting in the spawning floors and also tearing down your witch hut right here. Now, witch huts generate a little bit weirdly. It's a little bit of a bug as far as I'm aware, because they can generate at different heights. They can be different, like one can be taller than the other one, but the bounding box is always in the same location, regardless of the physical structure, as far as I'm aware. So you're going to want to make sure that you put your bottom spawning floor at Y65 and make sure that that is at Y65. Otherwise, you will be having some problems. So you're going to want to make all of these floors out of glazed terracotta. So the second spawning floor is going to be going right here. And of course, that's going to be 7 by 9. And the third spawning floor is going to be going right here. And of course, that is going to be a 7 by 9 floor. Because this is the part that you're most likely to mess up, and that I know I messed up quite a few times, I left the witch hut intact so that you can see exactly where all these floors go. One goes directly above the water right here, 2 block gap, the second floor, another 2 block gap, and then you got your third floor. And before you really build up much more of the farm, I would suggest waiting until nighttime and seeing if witches spawn on top of your top floor. That way you know for a fact that you built it correctly. Just a pro little tip. I had to rebuild my farm, so trying to save you guys a little bit of a hassle. Anyway, now you can just go ahead and fully remove the hut if you have not already, and we can start on building the redstone actually. Alright, so now it is time to do literally all of the redstone in your farm, so you might want to pay attention. Although it is extremely simple redstone, it's just a flying machine and 2 return stations per layer is the exact same for all 3 layers, so there really is not too much to worry about. So let's just get started. We're going to work from the elongated side of the farm, so the one that is 9 blocks long, and pushing all the mobs this way. So just get that in your head. So place in 2 blocks right here. And then you want to go out by 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a immovable object like obsidian right there. So then go ahead and place in an observer facing that way, place in a slime block on the back of that, sticky piston, slime block on the face, and then another sticky piston facing that way. So one's facing the one way, one's facing the other way, and then you want to get a temporary block right there, place an observer facing into the slime block, and that is pretty much as simple as that. So then just extend this arm going all the way to the edge of your farm, and that is going to be sweeping all of your witches off the platforms very, very easily. So go ahead and place an observer facing this observer right here, and then get yourself in some slabs right here. So you want yourself a 2x2 of slabs, and then dang, I'm not placing these correctly whatsoever. 2x2 of slabs, and then 2 more slabs right here. A repeater on 4 ticks, 2 redstone dust, repeater on 3 ticks, repeater on 2 ticks, and before placing this one, we're actually going to build up the other side because otherwise your flying machine would be running off in the distance without you. So place in 2 blocks right here, another 2 blocks right there, and then place in an immovable object. And then you just want to go ahead and place in your repeater on this side. So repeater, this thing should fire, go off to the other side, and then you can start building up your return station on this side. So it's basically the exact same as that one. Observer facing this right here. Then you want a 2x2 of slabs right here. Another 2 slabs going out. Repeater on 4 ticks, 2 redstone dust. Repeater on 3 ticks, repeater on 2 ticks, repeater on 1 tick, and then that should send that flying machine back. So it's a very simple system, and this thing is now going to start clocking, and that's basically all there really is to this farm with the redstone aspect. So I know that there are easier ways of launching these flying machines. However, we want this amount of delay. We want a little bit of delay just to give the witches some time to spawn, because as your flying machines are going back and forth, they're actually going to be preventing spawns, because the slime blocks right here are at the head height, meaning that no witches can spawn wherever these slime blocks are. So no witches can spawn here, the flying machine moves. No witches can spawn here, you guys get the point. So we're giving it a little bit extra delay just to allow the witches enough time to spawn. So congrats, the hard part of the farm is now completely done and you don't really need to worry about much else whatsoever. So by now you should have all of your flying machines and all of your redstone in. Again, it's exactly the same for each level, the same delay, the same setup, everything is exactly the same. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is add in a little bit of a Redstone Line to activate all of these at once, basically as your off switch. And of course that is not hard to do whatsoever. So we're just going to run redstone all the way up all of these right here to the top, and then you get rid of all these levers. And now you can run this lever wherever you plan to have your storage room or whatever you like. I'm just going to be leaving it right here because that's pretty much all you really need. And as you can see, once you turn that off, they all launch. Then they'll come back. There won't be any problems, even with the redstone canoodling or anything like that. So the next step is slightly complicated to explain, but basically what you need to do is you need to surround everything in leaves. And the reason why we're using leaves is because slime blocks do not stick to them. They are cheap and they're also spawn proof. So that is the reasons. You can also use basically anything that slime blocks don't stick to, but then you'll have to do additional spawn proofing. But basically you want to go around and you want to cover everything in leaves, including these 2 slots right here, all across here, because you can have spiders spawning on top of your flying machines as they are flying, which is not fun. And then you want to put up a border of leaves around here. I'm thinking I'm going to speed this process up for this layer because there is quite a few leaves to place. And honestly, there's not too much to say about it. There's really not too much to explain. You just want to surround absolutely everything in leaves, and then you won't have any witches escaping your farm, and you won't have any problems whatsoever. Okay, so your floor should be looking a little bit something like this. There's leaves everywhere that the flying machines are and everywhere that there is exposed blocks. So that is a good thing. You also want to make sure that you do have this 1 block gap on either side of your spawn platforms. So don't obstruct that in any way, shape, or form. So now you basically just want to build this up for all 3 layers. So, kind of a jumbled mess of leaves, isn't it? Well, it gets even better. So we can launch all the flying machines. If you misplaced any leaves anywhere, then the flying machines will just take them out and it won't be too big of a deal. You don't need to worry about them breaking the flying machines or anything. But one thing that you're now going to want to do is also place in an extra layer of leaves at this height right here, because as your slime blocks are going back and forth, spiders actually have a chance of spawning on top of them, which isn't really great. You don't really want spiders inside of your farm. So go ahead and fill in an extra layer of leaves on top of your slime blocks at this layer right here. And that will be all of your leaves in place. Just make sure that you have, you know, everything fully encased. There's no way for the witches to escape or get launched out of your farm. The final step before putting a full roof on this thing and calling it done is actually going to be the kill shoots. So these are super duper simple. So in your little 1 block gap on each side of the farm, you're going to dig down by 30 blocks, just 9 blocks wide, 30 blocks down. And then at the bottom of that, just put some hoppers. So right now we're at Y65, as you can see from the map here. And down here at the bottom, we are at Y35. Underneath these carpets is some hoppers, and that is pretty much all there is to it. You need one of these on both sides, and yeah, there's really not much to say about it. It's a giant hole. So yeah, get one on the side as well, and that will be your farm nearly complete. Alright, so the final step is actually going to be putting a roof on this thing, and that is, of course, extremely simple. However, you may have some problems with this due to lighting glitches. So on both Console Edition and Java Edition, you may experience spawn preventing lighting glitches inside of your farm, which isn't too big of a deal. All you need to do is go around and update these leaves, or you can just simply remove the leaves and put them back. It's not really too hard of a fix. Just beware, you may have some lighting glitches inside of your farm. So you're going to want to mark out the corners of your platforms right here. So these iron blocks mark out the corners of both of these, and then just count out 15 blocks in every direction from these pillars. So 1, and then count out on the other side by 15 blocks as well. And then just go ahead and connect the corners. And you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now obviously do that on all 4 of these, and then fill in all of the slabs, and you should be completely done with this farm. And there we go. The farm is now 100% complete, and it is looking very fine. There is tons of witches in there, which is absolutely beautiful. Now, before you guys go, I would suggest putting your AFK spot at about Y145. So as of 1.13, you're going to also want to put a solid block above your head. That way no phantoms spawn and try and eat you. So you will also not want to have your AFK spot above the farm. Otherwise, you'll significantly lower the rate. So put your AFK spot slightly beside the farm, but still at about Y145, or maybe a little bit lower. Anyway, that's just final details. Doesn't really matter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and get some massive use out of this farm. Again, thank you to Etzmine for showing this off and designing this farm as well. And again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Maybe subscribe to the channel so you guys see future tutorials and let's plays and all kinds of random things. I'll see you down in the comment section and in the next video. And then there was silence.